Towering over the Pacific Northwest, Mount Rainier stands as a sentinel, watching over the region with an imposing presence. Mount Rainier is a sight to behold, a natural wonder that captures the imagination of all who gaze upon it. Its snow-capped peak, reaching over 14,000 feet, dominates the skyline, creating a breathtaking backdrop for the surrounding landscape. This majestic mountain, a symbol of the region, is revered by locals and visitors alike. Its beauty is unparalleled, and its presence is a constant reminder of the power of nature. However, Mount Rainier is also a source of constant concern. Beneath its serene exterior lies a potential for great danger. Why? Because beneath its beauty lies a sleeping giant, a volcano capable of unimaginable destruction. The mountain's volcanic nature is a reminder that it is not just a picturesque landmark, but a powerful force of nature. Mount Rainier is not just any volcano. It is considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, due to its potential for catastrophic eruptions and the impact it could have on the surrounding areas. The mountain's size and prominence make it a formidable presence, but it is the hidden power within that truly defines its danger. The mountain has a fiery past, with a history of eruptions spanning thousands of years. These eruptions have shaped the landscape and left a lasting mark on the region. Scientists believe its last major eruption occurred about 500 years ago. This eruption was a significant event, altering the terrain and impacting the environment in profound ways. But the danger hasn't gone away, far from it. The potential for future eruptions remains, and the threat is ever present. The volcano's proximity to major population centers like Seattle and Tacoma adds another layer of risk. These cities, bustling with life and activity, are within striking distance of Mount Rainier's destructive power. Millions of people live within Rainier's potential blast zone. The thought of such a densely populated area being affected by a volcanic eruption is a sobering one. And that's not the scariest part. The real danger lies in what scientists call Lahars. These volcanic mudflows, a deadly mix of water, ash, and debris, can travel for miles, destroying everything in their path. Lahars are capable of moving at incredible speeds, sweeping away anything in their way. The destructive power of lahars cannot be underestimated. They have the potential to cause widespread devastation, impacting communities, infrastructure, and the natural environment. Mount Rainier is a beautiful reminder of nature's power, a power that can be both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Its presence is a testament to the dynamic forces that shape our world. Understanding its potential for destruction is the first step in preparing for the day the sleeping giant awakens. Scientists and emergency planners work tirelessly to monitor the mountain and develop strategies to mitigate the impact of a potential eruption. Advanced technology and continuous research are crucial in predicting volcanic activity and providing early warnings to those at risk. The goal is to minimize the loss of life and property by being as prepared as possible. Public awareness and education are also key components of preparedness. Communities near Mount Rainier are encouraged to have emergency plans in place and to stay informed about the latest developments. Mount Rainier's story is one of beauty and danger, a reminder of the delicate balance between the awe-inspiring and the potentially catastrophic. As we admire its grandeur, we must also respect its power and remain vigilant in our efforts to understand and prepare for the challenges it presents. Mount Rainier may be dormant, but it's far from extinct. This majestic peak, standing tall and serene, hides a powerful secret beneath its surface. Deep within its core, a fiery heart still beats. The molten rock, or magma, is a constant reminder of the volcano's potential for activity. Scientists closely monitor the volcano, watching for any sign of unrest. Their concern is warranted. With advanced technology, they track seismic activity, gas emissions, and ground deformation, all of which can signal an impending eruption. Rainier has all the ingredients for a catastrophic eruption. The combination of its size, the composition of its magma, and its history of explosive activity make it a volcano of great interest and concern. One ominous sign is the volcano's hydrothermal system. This system, which includes hot springs and steam vents, indicates that there is significant heat beneath the surface. Hot springs and steam vents dot the mountain's slopes, evidence of the intense heat simmering below. These features are not just scenic attractions, they are indicators of the volcanic activity beneath, evidence of the intense heat simmering below. The presence of these features suggests that magma is not far from the surface. These features indicate that magma, molten rock, is present and active beneath Rainier. The magma chamber, a reservoir of molten rock, is a critical component of the volcano's potential for eruption. While these signs don't necessarily mean an eruption is imminent, they serve as a stark reminder of the forces at play. The mountain's hydrothermal activity is a window into the dynamic processes occurring beneath the surface. They serve as a stark reminder of the forces at play. The presence of steam vents and hot springs is a clear indication that the volcano is still very much alive. Another red flag is the volcano's history. Mount Rainier has a long and storied past of volcanic activity, with eruptions that have shaped the landscape over millennia. Geological records tell a story of past eruptions, some large enough to have significantly altered the landscape. These records are crucial for understanding the volcano's behavior and potential future activity, some large enough to have significantly altered the landscape. The aftermath of these eruptions can be seen in the altered terrain and the deposits of volcanic material. These eruptions weren't just ancient history, they occurred within the last few thousand years, a blink of an eye in geological terms. They serve as a chilling reminder of Rainier's potential power and the very real threat it poses to the region. The deposits of volcanic ash and other materials are a testament to the volcano's explosive past. The question isn't if Mount Rainier will erupt again. The question is when. Scientists are constantly studying the volcano to better understand its behavior and to predict future eruptions. And when it does, the consequences will be devastating, particularly if the eruption triggers lahars. Lahars, or volcanic mudflows, can travel great distances and cause widespread destruction, particularly if the eruption triggers lahars. These fast-moving flows of mud, rock, and water can obliterate everything in their path, posing a significant threat to communities downstream. Imagine a wall of mud, rock, and debris moving faster than a speeding car, engulfing everything in its path. That's the terrifying reality of a lahar. These volcanic mudflows are one of the most dangerous hazards associated with Mount Rainier. Lahars are formed when volcanic activity, like an eruption, rapidly melts snow and ice on the mountain. This water mixes with volcanic ash, loose rock, and debris, creating a dense, fast-moving slurry. Think of it as a flash flood on steroids. What makes lahars particularly dangerous is their unpredictable nature. They can occur with little warning, travel for miles, and even jump riverbanks, reaching areas far beyond the immediate vicinity of the volcano. Lahars can bury entire towns, destroy infrastructure, and claim countless lives in their destructive path. In the case of Mount Rainier, the risk is amplified by the sheer volume of ice and snow on its slopes. A significant eruption could generate lahars of unimaginable size and force, capable of reaching densely populated areas in a matter of hours. The year was 1985. The place, Armero, Colombia, a quaint town nestled in the lush green valleys of Tolima. It was home to a vibrant community of farmers, merchants, and families who had lived there for generations. A seemingly distant volcano, Nevado del Ruiz, rumbled to life. This majestic peak, often cloaked in snow and ice, had been dormant for decades, its last significant eruption occurring in the 19th century. What followed was a catastrophe that shocked the world and etched the deadly power of lahars into our collective memory. The eruption itself was not the most violent, but it set off a chain of events that would lead to unimaginable destruction. Nevado del Ruiz's eruption was relatively small. The initial explosion sent a plume of ash and gas into the sky, but it was the subsequent melting of the ice cap that spelled disaster. The heat from the eruption was enough to melt a massive amount of snow and ice on the volcano's peak. This sudden influx of water mixed with volcanic ash and debris, creating a deadly slurry known as a lahar. This triggered a series of catastrophic lahars, sending torrents of mud and debris surging down the mountainside. These lahars traveled at incredible speeds, picking up trees, boulders, and anything else in their path. One of these lahars, a raging river of mud, slammed into the town of Armero, burying it under meters of debris. The force of the lahar was so immense that it obliterated buildings, uprooted trees, and left a thick layer of mud in its wake. More than 20,000 people perished in the disaster. Families were torn apart, and the town was left in ruins. The survivors were left to grapple with the loss of loved ones and the destruction of their homes. The world watched in horror as images of the devastation emerged. News outlets from around the globe broadcast the tragic scenes, and the name Armero became synonymous with one of the deadliest volcanic disasters in history. Armero became a tragic testament to the destructive force of lahars. The once thriving town was now a ghostly landscape of mud and debris, a stark reminder of nature's power. The Armero tragedy serves as a stark warning. It highlights the importance of monitoring volcanic activity and the need for effective evacuation plans. The disaster could have been mitigated if the warnings had been heeded and the residents evacuated in time. It reminds us that even a small eruption can have catastrophic consequences, especially when lahars are involved. These deadly mudflows can travel great distances and cause widespread destruction, making them one of the most dangerous volcanic hazards. And when it comes to Mount Rainier, the potential for a similar disaster is all too real. This towering volcano in the Pacific Northwest is also capped with glaciers, and an eruption could trigger lahars that would threaten nearby communities. The lessons learned from Armero are crucial in preparing for and mitigating the risks posed by